Welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah and today I'm going to be making an outdoor address plate. My content is definitely all over the place now. It's not just like makeup videos, but my cat is crying. So I recently purchased a house and the current address plate that's out there, I think it might be the same one that's been there since the house was built. So I'm not a huge fan. It's definitely an older style. So I was looking into getting a more updated style one and I was checking on Etsy. Come here. And I found a modern looking one that I really liked, but I thought that looks fairly easy-ish if I wanted to try it myself. So that is what we are doing here today. So the items that you will need, you'll want to start off with some plank wood that you will be able to drill numbers through. Now, the one I got was $10. It's technically a cabinet door front, but it was just the perfect size that I was looking for without having to cut the wood myself. So I decided to spend the extra money. You can definitely get them for smaller and cheaper, and a lot of the hardware stores like Home Depot, Menards, and Lowe's have wood address plates that you can buy that are cheaper. I didn't like the shape. They had rounded curves and I was looking for straight curves, but you can also just buy some wood and cut it, or if any stores cut it for you there. So you don't have to buy maple. This is more than I should have. Some sort of stain for the color you want to achieve. So this is the Cabot semi-transparent stain and sealer. If this is going to be going outside, make sure that you get a stain that is built for the outdoors. The indoor stains don't have the type of sealers that you would need for weatherproofing. So this is actually the stain that you would use for a deck. So something that you want to be able to withstand all types of weather. And since the address plate is going to be on the side of the house, I want that same level of weatherproofing. And they have these perfect little sample bottles if you wanted to test it out for like a bigger project. But I'm thinking it's going to be like the perfect amount for what I need for this. If not, it's the smallest size you get. So I don't think I'll be needing this much, but it's nice that I didn't have to buy a giant can of deck paint. The other thing you will obviously need are the numbers. These are the Hillman Distinctions numbers. This is in brushed nickel, and these are their floating numbers. So when I saw the picture on Etsy, I really liked that they kind of came off of the wood and it wasn't just like nailed into the wood exactly. So when I saw the picture on Etsy, I really liked that it wasn't flush with the wood. It kind of came off a little bit and gave it more dimension. So I found these. These were $6 per number, and it varies per store, so they're not cheap. But I'm thinking this method will be either cheaper or like the same amount if I were to just purchase it on Etsy. But I have it today and I don't have to wait for it to be delivered. Something else you will need is a drill. I suggest a level and a pencil and tape measurer so you can make them all looking good. Okay, so you want something to protect your workspace. I'll give this a little shake. So I got this tinted. This is just from their neutral base, and I got it in shade Bark. I've seen different ways of applying stains, some with brushes and then some just with a cloth. So I'm going to be trying a cloth and see how that goes. Ooh, it's so pretty. So that is the color I chose. It looked like a nice natural wood in the store, so I'm going to take a little bit on here and just okay, so I'm not a huge fan of actually using the cloth, so I'm going to grab a brush. I thought I'd turn the camera back on, but here is one coat. I also did the edges. I am going to wait for this side to dry to do the other side of the wood. When I thought the camera was on, I explained that I'm not sure which side I'm going to be out facing putting the numbers on because each side has a different wood grain and I'm just not sure which one I want to go with. So we're going to let this dry for a little bit and then go in with another coat. Okay, so it is dry to the touch. I'm going to do a second layer as well as a layer on the back. I'm actually going to try it with a rag again because it seems like the brush just took too much time. I'm gonna let that dry some more. I'm letting it dry a couple hours in between just so that it is not sticky to the touch. And I'm doing very light coat, so if you do thicker coats, you will have to wait longer. Okay, it's looking good. I'm going to add on another layer. Okay, let that sit, and we'll be back. Okay, I got busy yesterday and didn't get back to this. Here is one side, here's the other. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with this side. So this is the side that I'll be concentrating my efforts on. Okay, so I saw this thing on TikTok about using a magic eraser sponge to apply the stains, so we're gonna give that a little go. Okay, I'm actually loving how that's applying it. Ew, okay, so you get like really good color payoff and it doesn't look very streaky. So much easier than using a brush. Okay, this is getting to the color I want it to be, so I'm so excited. I think it looks good. And we're gonna let that dry, and I'm thinking maybe one more coat, but that color might actually be perfect. So, magic sponge hack, absolutely yes. Do it, try it, so much quicker. I could have saved so much time at this point. All right, so we have a finished product. I absolutely love that color. It's like exactly what I was going for. So next I'm going to take the numbers out of their packaging. If you open up the package of the numbers, it has instructions. Oh, and perfect. They have the numbers so you can have like a little template for mounting. And this comes off. It says to use a hole punch for these, but I'm just going to take the drill bit I'm going to use and just like push it through. There we go. If you have a hole punch, it'd be easier, but if you don't, really anything that'll punch through it will work. Okay, first thing I'm gonna want to do is line up all of these templates next to each other. Make sure they are even, and then I'm gonna be taking some painter's tape and taping them together so that way when I go to drill the holes, they're all in place and even and don't get knocked out of place. I'm gonna tape that. Make sure when you line them up that the tops and bottoms are aligned. Then I want to align these on the piece of wood. Make sure that the numbers line up with where I want them to start at the top and at the bottom. So that one is kind of like a little bit of guesswork. Kind of have to lift them and see how much you have above and under. You could always cut these off, but I left them on. And I want to leave some space on each side that's even. I've already changed my mind. I'm actually going to cut these so they're a little bit shorter. I'm going to cut right underneath the words that are on the top. So it's not the most even line, but I think it will do. And then I'll also cut on the lines, the words down here. Or it's like just cutting the words off. Okay, so here we have a little bit of a better template. I'm gonna put some more tape on it just to keep it together. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna align this on here where I need it. And then through the holes that I already punctured, I'm taking a pencil and I'm putting a little mark so I know where to drill the hole. Now that we have those, I'm going to take this drill bit. It's a 7/64, and this is smaller than what this is, but I like to do smaller holes and then larger just to make sure. So if you have some type of clamp to keep this down, that is best. I do not, but I'm just going to be holding it down and drilling through all the way. hole there. We have our first holes for the 5 right there, and that seems to line up. So they can't fit through there quite yet, but I just want to do small holes before doing the larger holes. Okay, and we have all of them in here, and it says to use a 3/16 drill bit, which I have right here, for the official holes. So I'm not going to go through each one. They're not the easiest to push through, so just be mindful of that. You could also try using a hammer and just be light on the numbers. I'm just gonna go in and make sure that each fits. And that fits. Ooh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna push these through all the way to make sure they will go through. I'm going to use a hammer, but I'm using the butt of the hammer because I don't want the metal to leave any marks. Okay, I have finally gotten them all in. You'll want to clean up around the hole because there might be some like sawdust from where you drilled the hole. Now this says to, before you fully put them in, to put caulk in the wood to keep it there. But to be honest, with the way I'm doing it with just like this one piece wood, it is not gonna come out of here. Like if I had to hammer it in just to get it to go through all the way, I'm not concerned about it falling out. What you could do, just to make it quicker and easier, is to put some on the back where it won't be seen, just to like extra keep it there. But I really don't think, like I can't even pull them out, so I don't think you're gonna have any issues. Just for good measure, I'm going to use this Loctite interior construction adhesive and just put a tiny bit around each screw to kind of lock it in there. I don't think this is necessary by any means, but if you want to be like extra careful. All right, now I'm going to let this dry. If you don't do this step, you are essentially ready, but if you do put some on, you're going to want to make sure it is completely dried. What you could do, and what most people do, I'm pretty sure, is just drill a hole through and drill a hole in your brick or siding and hang it like that, like through a just screw. But I want this side to remain clean without any additional holes. So I purchased this picture hanging kit that I'm going to try and use. This is less than 10 pounds and this works for 10 to 30 pounds. So it's just like a wire hanging set that I'm going to try using. So you will also need a drill for drilling these in. These are very thin, so I'm going to use a very thin drill size. And I'm not going through all the way, I'm just going to start on this side, go through a little bit of the ways. Okay, I'm going to stick this in here, screw that in. So now I'm going to take the wire that they gave me. So I think you just tie it through and wrap it around multiple times. I don't want the wire to show like up here, so I'm going to put it down lower so that when it hangs, you don't see. Perfect, and there we go. Now something else I'm going to do, since this is holding it up here, I don't want it to be able to like bounce around, so I'm going to put some of this permanent all-weather mounting tape on the bottom to hold the bottom in place. Do about that much. Set that kind of in the middle. Okay, and now it's ready to be hung after you just take the top layer off. There's already a hole in my brick where I'll be able to put a nail to hang this, but if you do not, you could try using the permanent mounting tape instead of drilling any holes, or you could drill another hole and do it yourself. Here is the finished product. I absolutely love it. I think it looks so much better than the previous one, so modern. You could do this in a variety of different colors to match your house. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time.